I don't talk about drones enough in this channel, which is a wasted opportunity. I love drones. I use them in my travel vlogs frequently. I think they add a lot of production values to even the most simple video. 20 years ago, you would need to rent a helicopter and a film crew to get the shots that a random schmuck can get in their little home videos in minutes, right? For a fraction of the cost. Drones are amazing. And I got this thing. This is the DJI Neo, their latest and greatest when it comes to making it easier to actually use a drone. It doesn't come without some shortcomings, of course. After all, look at it. It's so small and it only costs 200 bucks. So something's got to give, of course. But I would argue that this is an amazing little tool if you like capturing aerial shots without breaking the bank. Let's take a look at this thing. I was actually one of the lucky creators that got to go to the actual unveiling of this thing. They flew me out to São Paulo. I got to meet with a bunch of other creators, and I came back home with this little guy. When I saw the presentation and the claims they made, I was incredibly skeptical that they would be able to deliver something like this for 200 bucks. And I'm happy to say that for the most part, they succeeded. This thing is probably the only drone most people would ever need because of how simple it is to operate. Let's wind the clock back a bit. What was the first creator you ever watched that incorporated drone footage into his work? In my case, it was Casey Neistat. The dude was incredibly influential, and a lot of even the tech choices I made were inspired by his work. The Canon 70D, the GorillaPod, a portable electric vehicle, drones, this is all his doing. His vision, his storytelling language inspired a bunch of people into wanting to create similar content with similar tools. Now, of course, back then, drones were very expensive, very big, right? You didn't have many drones like this, so depending on the jurisdiction, you need government approval to fly these things. Back in Canada, you need to get a license, you need to get insurance. There's all this red tape. And then after they put out these smaller micro drones that weigh less than 250 grams, it became a lot easier to operate these things. But it's still not the kind of thing where you can just pull it out of your bag and start filming and then get it back and put it away and continue with your day. Setting up for a drone shot, even with more recent offerings like my Mini 3 Pro, my other DJI drone, it still took something to set up, right? You got to take out the drone, unfold the arms, take out the controller, screw the little joystick things into the controller, pair them. There's a lot of setup involved, right? This thing makes it super simple. You take it out, you turn it on, and then you operate it by using just this one button here at the top. You can pair a controller, and in fact, the version I got comes with a controller, but I will literally never use this thing. Not when I'm flying the Neo. If I need a drone that goes farther, higher up, and I need more precision in my shot, then I will just take out the Mini 3. That's the beauty of having multiple tools, right? For somebody who's planning on using this exclusively, maybe the controller would be a good idea, but for what I do, I'm not convinced I need it. I'll end up selling it, right? Maybe it's right for you. The little panel that you're going to be primarily using to interact with the drone, if you're anything like me, I feel does the job, right? So when you turn it on, let me do that here. You turn this thing on. It's very light, very, very portable. You can toss this into, during the winter, this goes into a jacket, right? So this is very, very convenient. It has 6 options here at the top. So the first one is the follow mode. You take off with this thing, it's gonna follow you around. Really cool for shots for example, I like, as I mentioned, personal electric vehicles, and having this thing follow me around while I'm riding an electric vehicle is the cyberpunkiest thing I've ever done in my life. I will tell you, it turns some necks. Right? It gets attention. People will whenever I stop to catch my breath, because riding in UC, I'm not sure if you've ever done that, or maybe I'm just very out of shape, but it requires a lot of core work. You're constantly doing this with your body. It feels like you're doing sit-ups while standing up, if that makes any sense, right? Wait, oh, the battery's almost dead. Anyway, so there's a follow mode. There's a drone. It says it out loud there to help you out. If you're not looking, if it's really bright out, you can see the lights. The voice is helpful. Drone shot will just take off, and it goes, I think, I forget the height. It doesn't go as far out as my bigger drones, but that's understandable because this thing is smaller. It doesn't handle wind as well as its bigger siblings, so you don't want this thing to go that far up anyway. Then you have circle, or as most drone pilots seem to call it, orbit. It's just going to orbit around a point of interest, right? Dangerous mode to use. The Neo uses AI to dodge obstacles and navigate your surroundings, and it does a fine job at that. Even when there's total occlusion of the subject, the drone navigates around that, and then once it gets the subject back, it continues the path along. It's not perfect. I've had instances where by losing track of me, it just stayed put in one spot. And I've had issues where it seemingly started following somebody else. This is the kind of drone that I think, especially in my case, where I'm usually like doing something active, like riding an electric vehicle, it's the kind of thing that you would benefit from having a spotter with you, right? Like when you're in the groove doing your thing, the only indication that you still have this thing following around, it's the noise it generates. And interestingly, it makes a lot of noise. These smaller drones, as I understand it, the tech that goes into making the propellers less noisy, the motors less noisy, they just don't have the room, and they can't spare the weight, I suppose, right? So for that reason, smaller drone. Fuck! Oh no! My computer, I think, just died. Fuck. Okay, let's go. Let's just push through it. Okay. So after circle, you have rocket. Rocket is the function where the drone just goes straight up in the air and pointing its camera straight down. It's, I feel, probably the safest way to operate. It just goes straight up. Spotlight is a very interesting feature. It's what I usually call the tripod mode. You set this thing up. Let me take off. Well, the battery's almost dead. Let's replace this here. I'm gonna show you. Show, don't tell, right? Okay, here we go. Let's demonstrate here. So to have it operate in any of the functions you selected, you press the button once to go through the options. And then once you get the one you want, you just press and hold. So here we go, spotlight. Let's see if this will work. So in spotlight mode, it just follows me around. And then once I stay put, after I think 3 seconds, it'll take a picture of me. This is really cool for trips because you don't have to be, stuck with just taking selfies. You can get a much better picture of your surroundings using this mode. Again, I go this way. It just stays on me. This is really cool. And as I mentioned, it uses just the camera alone and AI. So this is kind of neat. Let's land. You see how simple that is? This is what makes the DJI Neo my favorite drone right now. The operation is dead simple. The gimbal is also pretty limited, as you can see here, but it does a pretty good job in keeping the image stable. I like how portable it is. I like how easy it is to operate. If you fly drones, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you think you could get a really good drone shot, especially when you're with a group, but then you don't want to go through the whole thing, the whole song and dance of like, wait guys, wait, let me get a quick drone shot here. Okay guys, get over here. Let me get the bag. Let's get the the drone out, unfold the thing, and then now get the controller ready. Now wait for them to pair. Now, okay guys, here we go. And then do it all, then have to do it all in reverse to put it away. You know how many times I was with a group of friends riding, our electric vehicles, and I just didn't want to bother them with that whole setup. This takes all of that out of the equation. Now, only shoots in landscape. Glaring emission. I imagine that they will do something to fix that in the inevitable next iteration of this drone. It seems to be a big hit. I mean, it's small, it's light, it's easy to use, and it's pretty affordable as far as drones go. So, yeah, man, which means a lot of people will be doing stupid things with this thing. There is some care that is necessary, even though it is incredibly safe to operate, much safer than any other drone I've ever owned. The propellers are fully encased. You have to actually go out of your way to get your fingers inside this thing here. And even if you hit somebody at top speed, it doesn't go very fast. It's very light. This has happened to me at the beach here in Brazil. The drone, for whatever reason, went into landing mode, and there happened to be a kid in front of it. It just bopped the kid in the head. The parents were understandably pretty nervous. They didn't know what just happened. I gave him the drone immediately, and I said, after apologizing, look, it's just a little plastic drone. It's like a toy. It's very light. You can see that it didn't really do anything. The propellers are, safe. I actually spoke with the kid, right, just to see how he was, and he barely understood what happened. And then I said, when you go back to school, you will be able to say that you were attacked by a robot. You were attacked by artificial intelligence, because that's how this thing works. The kid didn't really understand it, but the parents thought it was great. So anyway, crisis averted is what I'm trying to say. But ultimately, the point is that with devices that are more simple, that rely on artificial intelligence, that take some of that fine control from your hands, little mishaps like that are to be expected. So I will probably, depending on the reaction to this video, make a whole video dedicated to teaching the newbies how to operate this thing. If you are somebody who has been looking for drones to make your vlogs more visually striking, I imagine a lot of you probably got this. A lot of new drone users means people need some education on how to operate them safely. And like I said, most people probably will not get this thing. This allows a lot more precise control. You can pair this with your phone and operate it this way with a viewfinder, seeing what the camera sees. I never use it this way. This thing to me is like, it functions best when it's used as a little standalone camera that you just take off, you have it follow you around, do the drone shots, do the rocket shots, do all of that, then land, put it away, and continue with your day without having to mess around with the setup that the usual drone shot requires. Anyway, this is a very brief look at this very, very interesting device. I'm really excited about what DJI is doing with it. I'm gonna include the links where you can buy this if this is your thing. So anyway, let me know what you think about the DJI Neo. I think it's great. And that's all the time I have for today. I'm Izzy and I'm done.